Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we getting on? Happy holidays to you all. Welcome to our annual Fallout 76 holiday build. Now, I'll tell you what, this, I think, is my favourite one that we've done so far. So let's have a look at this one. Okay, yeah, so I usually do one of these around about this time of year, give it a bit of a holiday theme, and yeah, they're fun to do, but I've never been quite satisfied with the results in the past. This time, I'm pretty pleased with this. I do actually quite like this one. I'm just going to go and tour this one rather than do the full build, because most of it's not too complicated. There was a bit on the roof that I chopped and changed a lot with, so that was just going to make the video a mess, but otherwise, it's reasonably manageable. So, having a look at the map, you can see we are just north of top of the world here. Decent little spot for a ski lodge, I think. Easiest way to find this sort of spot is to head down onto the slopes, which I think are more or less off to the west there, and then sort of wander around them. There's a couple of flat spots there that are quite cool. Potential spots to build. Obviously, it's a relatively popular corner of the map, this, so worth bearing that in mind too. But, let's have a little look around this place. So yeah, brand new building set that came out last week, and I have somewhat mixed feelings on this one. The window's right up the top there that you can see on the ground floor. It's different, it's interesting, it's quite cool. I like the texture, I think, although I'm a bit more mixed on that. The walls also come pre-wallpapered, which is interesting. I'm pretty sure you can put other wallpapers on there. I haven't, but I think you can. There is one drawback with it, though, that particularly the half-size walls, they tend not to have as many options as the full-size walls, and that can be a bit of an issue depending on how you want to set things up, so yeah. There's a few more wallpaper options could have been added to those, but otherwise, it seems to be a pretty decent set. We've got some new roofs as well that are quite cool. This sort of top right corner and at the back there, that's where I really had the issue with the roof and kept chopping and changing things and flamethrowing stuff and all manner of different things to put the roof in, and I ended up settling on something that wasn't too complicated, but yeah, came out alright. So yeah, little ski lodge. Obviously, I figure this balcony area out front was probably originally used as somewhere to sort of sit and hang out and watch the ski slopes and the snow and stuff. But we have no snow and a need for crafting benches, and I do like to have my camps, even when they're thematic like this, be functional. So this one certainly fits the bill there. I've managed to squeeze all the workbenches out here. A load of twinkling lights and decorations to offset the kind of workbench vibe. Power armor station's a little odd, but hey, it works. Yeah, I've used a few bits of the newer stuff from Nuke World on Tour and stuff to decorate this place up with, as they kind of go with the red and white theme anyway for Christmas. And it worked quite well, I think. Same with the Fashion Act decorations. They're not technically Christmas decorations, but they're about as close as we've got, really, so kind of makes sense to use those. Let's head on inside to our little living room. Yeah, decoration on this has come out alright, quite like this room. I should say, incidentally, the decorations taken this build up to basically the full build budget as well, so I did a couple of extra crops out back just in case I need them, but otherwise, yeah, pretty much a full build, this one. Yeah, a few bits and pieces around. We've got a nice collection of stuff to put on the sides in living rooms and stuff now, which is quite cool. As well as a few Christmas-themed decorations as well. Some new stuff from the Atomic Shop, some of the older stuff that's been knocking around for a while as well in there. And I'm quite happy with the result. I remember that snowman making really weird, creepy noises in the past, and he doesn't seem to do that anymore. So I'm not sure if I misremembered it or it's changed, but I'll take it either way. Unfortunately, I do not have access to the wrapped presents, so those were a Nuclear Winter reward way back when, apparently, a seasonal one as well. So I had to kind of improvise, so loads of plushies, loads of bits and pieces on the floor around the tree. It gives the right vibe, but not actually wrapped presents, so I think I managed to kind of improvise and get that feeling right, even if I couldn't use quite what I wanted. Some more of the Nuka World stuff on top of the fireplace there. Fireplace is a bit of an afterthought, but I needed somewhere to put the stockings, and, you know, where else are you going to put them, so definitely worked out okay. I did want to use the tall fireplace rather than this sort of electric one, but with the windows being where they are and stuff, it wouldn't have looked right, so I couldn't change the window options out either. Those are the only real window options on these particular walls, so here's what it is. So, a couple of kind of hallways here. This room, for want of a better word, was basically dead space. So, it was originally going to be part of the kitchen, but I didn't kind of like the way it looked, so I walled off this section. And this kitchen is basically similar, well, very, very similar to the one I did in my sort of realistic house up near Foundation a few weeks back. Changed a couple of little bits, but it works. In this particular house, whereas it didn't in the last one, I managed to get the cooking station in so that it works. It's just nudged ever so slightly further over to right than the other one was, so that's definitely a win. And yeah, nice little bit of decoration here and there. Bit compact, but it does the job. A few steins on there and other bits and pieces. Yeah, I quite like this little kitchen. I did get a little bit frustrated putting those work surfaces in. They can be a bit frustrating on occasion, but kind of pushing them beyond what they're intended to be used for, so that's kind of bound to happen really under the circumstances. A few little bits of decoration out here, because as I say, this sort of hallway, I could probably have taken this door off here and made it a single long corridor. That might not have been a bad idea in hindsight, but nonetheless, it works, as we're moving towards the front door really now, rather than the door we actually came in. Little aluminium Christmas tree. I quite like that green one, and the aluminium one's alright, but I wanted to use the new one as well, seeing as I picked it up mostly for the other stuff in the bundle, but yeah. Well, I was going to call this a bathroom, but it's more of a shower room. But it was kind of an afterthought, this. I had the corridor just come around the corner here, and then I realised I didn't have anywhere for a bathroom, so last minute conversion to put a bathroom in this corner. But it works, does the job nicely. Again, I've just stuck with the same wallpaper all the way through. This is the one that comes with the wall set, so it's essentially unwallpapered. You can also see, if you look behind the piano there, that's two half walls on top of each other, which is why they don't match the rest of it. Which is what I was talking about before. There's no wooden panelling on the half walls, or no wooden panelling option, which is a little bit annoying. Whereas, obviously with these tall ones, you can either have the wallpaper run floor to ceiling, or you can have wooden panelling halfway up like I've done here. And I like that wooden panelling, so I've gone for that. But it does have that slight drawback. So, bottom of the stairs here, I wasn't really sure what to do with the space, so a couple of displays, kind of glitch weapon displays into the back of that one there. Just a little bit of flamethrowing did the job there. So this is the new staircase that came alongside this building set, and I quite like it. I do wish it had one of the frames on it, so we had a few more options, but it's not bad as is. It's obviously based on the Halloween one. And yeah, as long as you've got your own little sort of stairwell like this, it kind of works okay. To get this upper floor in, though, I had to do a bit of finagling, because underneath the stairs, basically where we're standing now, I've got a double-sided wall, so that was blocking the upper floor from snapping to that staircase. So to get around that, I used a separate staircase, snapped the upper floor to that, put the staircase in that I actually wanted, i.e. that one we've just come up, then took the original staircase out. So it was a little bit of build order just to get around the fact there was a double-sided wall underneath blocking the floor going in. But the end result worked, and we end up with a nice little way up to what is I suppose this is more of a dormitory, but this is intended to be a ski lodge, kind of temporary weekend holiday home type vibe, so I didn't mind too much not having separate bedrooms. I thought the bunk beds would work for that kind of vibe. Also thought we'd use the new wall safe from, what's that event called? Most Wanted from Nuka World on Tour. As a safe in a kind of holiday place made sense. Yeah, the bunk beds are a little close to the ceiling there, but I didn't really want the ceiling any higher than it was, so I decided to stick with it and keep the right vibe. As long as you don't sit up, you'll be fine. So out here we have a little balcony. Use that Robco snow machine, which I didn't pick up last year, but I decided to grab this year, because it's quite cool and fun. But yeah, this balcony, not a lot going on with it. Nice little area to sit. The reason I really put it here was because I wanted something to break up the shape of the building a little bit. The sort of plain, straight walls were, I mean, they're fine, but it looked a little bit boxy, so putting a balcony on here like this kind of breaks up the lines a little bit, makes it a bit more interesting. And because I could, I decided to drop the Nuka-Cola billboard in the background as well. I mean, it's theoretically a form of commercial property, I suppose, so having some advertising around makes sense. That billboard comes from the current season, Nuka World on Tour season. So, nice to get some use out of that. Needs wiring up if you want it to light up, but it's quite cool that it does light up nonetheless. I do like those billboards. They make a nice bit of background set dressing for the camp. Yeah. I did have to raise the roof a bit here, as you can see, over the top of the stairs, just to get this door in more than anything. I wanted a doorway to separate this room out. And, yeah, it would have been sticking out at a funny angle if I'd used the lower roof, so it had to step back for this back corner, or step up for this back corner, rather. But, yeah, I mean, it came out all right. And it does, again, change up the shape and the profile of the structure from the outside, which makes it more interesting to look at, which is always a good move. As I always say, one of the easiest things to do if you want to make a building look a bit more interesting is cut the corners off, add bits that stick up, change the angles, stuff like that, and you end up with a much more interesting shape. So that's basically what we've done here. So there we go, on holiday-themed ski lodge. As I said at the start, I like the way this one has come out a lot more than some of my other builds, for my holiday ones anyway. And I've had some interesting ideas and tried some stuff in the past, but the end product's just not quite had that something that I was satisfied with. And I think this one is a bit more interesting to look at, and I'm quite pleased with how it's come out. Pity we haven't got any snow. Could mod some in, but you know, a bit of a can of worms modding 76, so we'll not take that risk. You'll have to kind of use your imagination, I think. But on the whole, I do quite like this little camp. And yeah, hope you guys did as well. If you did like the video, please consider dropping subs and likes. I very much appreciate. Down below as well, you'll find social media links, merch store, channel memberships, all that other good stuff. If you're interested in supporting the channel that way, it really, really helps out. And if you get a chance to join us for live streams as well, we'll be picking those back up again in the new year, along with videos as well, once we've had a little break for Christmas. And kicking things off, as I suspect 2023 is going to be a big one. There's a lot of very cool stuff on the horizon I'm looking forward to. So I do hope you join us for that. Make sure you get that notification bell on the go. For now, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.